everyone. Welcome to this week's Indie Artist Music Hustle with Blonde Intelligence. I'm your host, Miss Ronnie, where I always seek to give you exquisite cranial repertoire. This week, I am going to talk a little bit about the interviews that R. Kelly have been doing to, I would say, get his side of the story out because he feel like his side of the story hasn't been told accurately. So, two of the interviews that I listened to and looked at, and there's been some other bloggers to report on, is with Wack 100 and with Kwame Brown. I like both Wack 100 and Kwame Brown because, in their own distinct ways, they're both like upfront people. Like, hey, let me listen to you. Let me tell you what this is. And I think that both of them, um, if they're wrong in a situation, I feel like they're both man enough to admit that they're wrong. So I think that's why I give respect to both of them. I actually have respect for both of them. Um, with R. Kelly, he said something that I think a lot of people are not distinguishing. He was like, forget the R. Kelly stuff. He said, I'm Robert. I'm talking about Robert. And it's always a debate of whether people should boycott R. Kelly's music or not. And he's clearly making a distinction between him, the artist R. Kelly, and the man Robert. Um, One of the things that Kwame said was he wasn't going to discuss what was being accused of because at that particular time it was like, what are the intricate details that are being done to this man that he feel is unfair, where people are trying to smother what he's trying to say, and he's bringing up a lot of points. um my thoughts on R. Kelly, um when I saw Trapped in the Closet, I really liked Trapped in the Closet. I thought that it was very creative, but I also can analyze characters, and I looked at like, oh, he'll beat the ass. No, if I was a woman, I would no. Well, I am a woman, but I would never talk to him because he'll beat my ass because I have a smart mouth. So I would say that in that aspect, whether you listen to the music or not, as a person or as a woman, you will know some things that you would deal with. Like he was saying in the interview with Wack 100 that they kind of like turned his one of his girlfriends against him because they showed her some emails that he sent to his other girlfriend, and he was like, I have to go to prison for 30 years because uh my girlfriend was mad at me because I was being a player. Okay, well, Robert, at the age of 50, whatever you are, how about being a player has not been good for you? It's not working out for you. So how about you might need to scratch the player thing? Um, Another thing is he was talking about the situation with Tasha K. Okay, I do understand both sides of the story. I mean, or of the coin, I would say, where he is saying, "Hey, it wasn't fair because this happened, and this person right here sent information to this blogger, Tasha K." I don't think that he has said anything disrespectful towards Tasha. What I do think is Tasha has previously, before in several of her broadcasts, said that she has been a victim. Um, I think, and she has said that's the reason why she goes so hard. But you have to realize, are you being an advocate or are you trying to punish somebody else for the things that you wasn't able to punish the person that you need to punish? Is that person still around? You might need to direct that energy that way because helping somebody break the law, whether you ask for the information or not. As her job, she's a blogger. She is supposed to report on what she finds. She is supposed to keep her sources anonymous. My thing is report the facts. Sometimes you have to leave emotion out of it. And I'm not saying that I'm an advocate for what he was accused of doing or some of the things, because I always feel like you have done way more than what you are being accused of in any situation. I'm not just talking about him. I mean, even us as adults, as children or whatever. Oh, you're going to get in trouble because you did this. And, oh, I'm going to get in trouble. But you probably done 100 other things that you didn't get punished for. And that is what kind of like karma is. So with the Tasha K situation, I think that he has a right to say what he has to say. If it's displeasure, if it's whatever, one does not have anything to do with the other. But as a PR person, I don't know who his PR people and the legal team, but listening to the interviews that he has been doing does not sound like a person who is illiterate and has to use an octopus diagram to understand everything that was going on. I don't know who thought that that was going to be a smart defense. And just because a person does not read well does not mean that they're not intellectually competent. So people need to get whether a person can read or not has nothing to do with intellect. And I think that he's a very intellectual person. So I don't agree with that defense. Also, I I just think that within all this, he has not taken accountability. He keeps saying it was between the girlfriends and this was done because of this. But I think a lot would weigh heavier if it was, I know I have done some things that people have not agreed with in my own personal love life. But as I get older, I realize those things and I'm trying to be a better person. And people shouldn't judge me by the things that they think that I have done. I do deserve some fairness in this, and people can change. I think that if he came like that, instead of it was just me being a player, you need to get rid of all of that. But as far as the music and everything, I think that the music is a separate entity than the person. I mean, we see this over and over again where you might not like the person as a person, but you may work with them anyway, or you may tolerate certain parts of things because it all works together. So I think that the people who are saying you need to choose a side on the music, that's kind of crazy. You just listen to the music. But as far as the person, I don't know him anyway. And you get vibes about people. And even with women, some people may be scared to leave. You never can victimize somebody. But that person always come across the right person where he think he gonna Ike Turner somebody. You might get Tina Turner. So anyway, I would just say that I do respect the fact, and I love the fact that the World Wide Web gives you a chance to be able to say what you have to say. And I am glad that he is doing these interviews because there's always three sides to every story. And some of the people who need to be questioned in the situation have not been questioned. But that is not for this. But do a person deserve a fair trial? Do witnesses need to be informed of what's going on 2 years before a person goes to trial if there has been no intimidation? Now, if it has been some other things, don't cry wolf and know that you have done some things that you just hadn't been caught for yet. So it's always, like I said, three sides to every story. There's two sides to the coin. And I respect Kwame Brown and Wack 100 and anybody else who has been given R. Kelly a platform to interview. Because I think that the interview with Gayle King, I know I was watching, I think it was the plainest Jane, one of her broadcasts, and she was saying that they were told to say this and to act like that and that he was faking and all of this kind of stuff. I don't know about that. Unless he's a brilliant, brilliant actor, I don't think a grown man, would cry like that unless he's wanted to be heard. And not saying that he's innocent, but a person do deserve to be heard. Um, and if you're gonna punish him for that, I'm sure that there's several others that should probably be joining in. But that's all I'm gonna say on the situation. And if you're listening to this on podcast, we're available on all podcasting platforms. We stream live on social media. I don't know what Facebook got going on right now where they're talking about I've had some hackers and some all kinds of stuff, but I've sent some things into legal because Blonde Intelligence is a registered trademark for services for recording and musical artists. I am a registered LLC where I do music registrations. I go to the conferences. I find out everything new that's going on, all the new trends that's going on, and making you a legitimate artist. The podcast is just part of what I do. If you're watching this on social media, I also stream live on social media. I have a publisher license, mechanical license, and everything, but everything has not transferred where I can do it on social media and do it on podcasts to operate that way. Things are still being worked out, and I'm still learning and seeing what loopholes can be done. But just remember to like, share, and subscribe, download. You can find us, like I said, streaming live on all social media, on social media platforms, all podcasting platforms, on my website, www-blonde-intelligence.com. You also can find merchandise. I got some tumblers, I got some trays. I also have some t-shirts. I'm going to be working with the model today about some t-shirts. So cop your merch. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And just because you see me on one platform, just know that there are several others that I am on. I don't like to be treated unfairly. And that was one of the reasons why I actually wanted to speak on this, because I understand how it has been to be treated unfairly and people not listening. And you're maybe telling the truth with his situation, but telling the truth and people are not listening to you. So I think that anybody who gives a person a platform to express themselves, hey, you've been 1,000 in my book, and I will see you next week. Bye.
Hey girl, let me tell you about this podcast.
Girl, everybody has a podcast these days.
But this one interviews new and interesting indie artists. It's called Indie Artist Music Hustle with Blonde Intelligence.
Really? Where can I find it?
It's on all podcasting platforms, streams live on social media, and on rpentradio.com.
What'd you say it was called again?
It's called Indie Artist Music Hustle with Blonde Intelligence.
Girl, I'm gonna have to check her out.
Give it a check.